wanna get away, but I could use some company. If you're alone like me, we could go on a trip. Girl, I wanna see that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Charge Room Show. I am Ilyasa Simpson, a.k.a. Coach Illy, a.k.a. Minister Charge, and we are here tonight on a Thursday. Yes, a Thursday. This is Where's My King's Night. This is hashtag the Men's Locker Room Night. So we are here tonight to do what we do, to have men talk about men's topics. And tonight, the topic is really smooth. We're here to discuss blended families. So, like this episode, share this, because in today's lifestyle, we come into a collaborative of different families coming together to unite on one ground. And we're going to talk about how to have a successful blended family. So again, like us on the Charge Room, follow us on Instagram, and connect with us and subscribe to us on YouTube, all titled The Charge Room, right? Never miss another episode again of what we discuss on either Wednesday from Queens Must Wear Crowns or Thursday from Where's My King. So again, tonight we're here to discuss how to have a successful blended family. In most basic sense, a blended family is one where the parents have children from previous relationships, but all of the members come together in one unit. However, as blended families become increasingly common, the definition of a blended family is changing. Understanding the basics of a blended family can be essential for ensuring your family can embrace its strengths and work together on its differences. So you say, what exactly is a blended family? Simple. The simple definition is a blended family is also called a step family, reconstituted family, or a complex family, which is a family unit where one or more or both parents have children from previous relationships, but they have now combined to form a new family. The parents may be in a same-sex or heterosexual situation. However, they may not have children from each other. So this is where we're going to tonight to talk about how to have a successful blended family. So tonight we have King Father Wise, and we also have King Joshua Mel. Good evening, King. How are you? How are you?
Peace.
How you doing? You
Yeah,
all right over there, King Joshua Mel?
yeah, I'm good. I'm just, I just was
Oh,
laughing.
okay, so yes, we are here to talk about blended families. And as I gave the definition, it's about people having children from different relationships, and they come together because they decided to make the decision to unify and live in one household. However, they're bringing their children with them. So now the children have to blend together. And a lot of times, when this initially happens, if it's not properly initiated, it could cause a lot of pop-up conflicts somewhere. So I just wanted to ask you both, how do you feel about having blended families? Did you ever have that type of experience?
You want me to go first or why?
Go ahead, John.
You could go. You go first.
Well, I've had the experience where I dealt with individuals who had children, and I've had children. Of course, I have children, but the situation comes about where you you have to take the step outside of the family structure. Either we're going to be family, I'm going to love your children like they're mine, or you know what I'm saying, I'm not. This is the situation here. Like the communication, the love and understanding that when you go into a relationship with a person that has children, you have to say like, this is my child. This is not my stepchild. This is not none of this other stuff. This is my child. That's how you blend it for it to become one. You know what I'm saying? When you're blending something, you're trying to make it or establish it where it fits to become one entity, one as being united. So if we're going to be united, I'm going to take the step out of the equation and I'm going to learn how to love this child the same way I'm going to learn how to love my own child. I'm going to love this child the way I love my child. I'm going to do and sacrifice for this child the same way I would do for my own. I'm not going to make a difference. I'm going to sit and I'm going to build a bond and a relationship with this child, and that and this child is going to know that I love them, that I sincerely care for them. Because when you go into a relationship with a person, you have to love their children more than you actually love them, because it's a whole total package in the situation. And a lot of times we don't look at that. We say, well, that's your child, that's much. No, as a blended family, we're coming together to become one. We're not making a difference. We're not doing any of the above. But it has to be with communication. It has to be with respect. It has to be with understanding. It has to be with a lot of patience. And if there's a biological parent that's still in the picture, all of us still have to be on the same page. We have to be able to communicate, all three of us. If the biological parent is still in the picture and not allow different things to cause a separation. See, when I was dealing with a blended situation, I sat down with my children's mother's spouse. You're involved in this because if I'm not in the house, you're the dad in the house. So we're going to show a united front all across the board. We're going to show a
Right.
united front across the board. So that's the way you blend it and make it whole. You make it one when you step up. You take the ego out of everything. You actually sit there and you talk. You show the child how we can become one family. That there is no separation. That blood doesn't make you my relative or my family. You know what I'm saying? The love I have for you makes you my family. And the thing you have to see that when you're dealing with someone who has children, you know what I'm saying, or married into a situation that there was already children there. Even a situation where you adopt a child, it's the similar role. Like when you take on foster kids and adopt children and all these, you have to show these children that you love them, for them to be comfortable with you, that they can come and speak with you, that they can come and sit down and add on with you, that they can look up to you as a parent. These are the things that, you know what I'm saying, I look at as far as with a blended family, how we move forward. I would never say, this is my stepchild or this is this, that, and the third. I would say, this is my son, this is my daughter, whatever the case may be. Because I don't never want that child to feel like I don't care for them or I don't love them, because that is not the fact. What goes on or whatever the case may be, me and your mom is the bond that brought me and you together, but I still love you. You can still come to me. You can still talk to me, whatever the case may be. And it don't have to be a forced situation. This is how you deal with your own child, and this is how you deal with your blended family.
So
That's my take on it.
let's before I move to father wise, like let's take it because I definitely hear you because you make very valid points. You spoke about communication, you spoke about love, you spoke about the verbiage that you would use to bring respect and understanding to the table, and how love, when you're in love, it's a package deal. It's not
Hmm.
you are seeing the queen and only the queen, and then forget that she has children with her, and then you
Hmm.
bring it to a consensus to say, okay, we're going to develop this relationship here because we have to incorporate your children. And at that
Right.
time, because when you take it a step back before you make this decision to move in together, it still has to be like a collaborative effort on all parts, because this is a new life change that's coming into play. So it would not be any manipulation, any splitting, any egos that will challenge this whole move here. So
Hmm.
you do, I totally agree, and you definitely made great points. So Father Wise, how can you contribute to this pot of seasoning here?
Yeah, peace everybody. Father Was. All right. Josh and Mel pretty much summed it up, but I'm just thinking, me personally, I've had a blended family. I've had someone who had a son and I had a son, and then we had a child together, and I actually raised him as he was my son. I've known him ever since he was 2 years old, so it was like now he's 29 now, and I raised him. I raised him as he was my own son, and I always tell him that from the beginning. Like he, I became a father when I met her, and he was already there. He was the first, and just like Josh Mel said, like I poured everything into him because, like when you have a woman who has a child or a man who has a child or children, it's you have to pour your love into all of that because it is a package deal. Like you're not gonna just love me and not love my child. That's not gonna work. You know. So you pour love into the whole situation. And so with my son and her son, they were raised as brothers, and then we had a child. So they're all pretty tight today. So I think I did a pretty good job with that. But it's all about coming together. And as Joshua said, never once did I refer to him, that's my stepson or that's just my son, period.
Right.
And that's how we do that. The same
Did,
love you give your children should be the same love you give the new children. You know,
did you
um,
face any challenge?
oh
Did you
yeah, yeah,
face any challenge?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Could,
His
could you
father
express?
dealing with
Could you express
yeah,
a challenge that you went through?
yeah, dealing with his father. Because
Okay.
I'm also a barber. So, I remember one time I cut his hair and his father had a heart attack. Like he literally wanted to fight. And I was, anybody who knows me knows, like, I'm not going to back down from I'm not running. So, but it never came to that. But there's been plenty of times that him and I got into it. And, he's the type, instead of saying thank you, it's just, it is what it is. So I never, um, just the challenges was just I've never had a challenge as far as the children go because he's never once said to me, yo, you're not my father, you can't tell me what to do. I've never gotten that. The most of the challenges have come from the adults in his family and my family. Oh, you not his father, why but over a period of time his grandparents learn to love me and respect me. Well, they respected me first, right? Um, and then they learned to love me because they liked the way that I was treating their grandson. You know, so
Okay.
like, how can you not respect anybody who treats children well? Like, I never. He got he got everything that I would give my own children, and not just the material stuff either. I poured everything into him, and now today that same kid, that same young man, is an aeronautical engineer. He just got a brand new job and graduated college and got a job and went and they hired him in Memphis at a new company that started. So like, can't be more
That's
proud of him.
nice.
Yeah, can't be more proud of this kid, man. And
That's beautiful.
he says to me, he says, he says, and all I ever wanted, he said, when I get rich and famous, I'm gonna hook you up. I was like, nah, just take care of your mother. I said, I'm good. I said, but I said, you get a chance, you can send me one of them Rolexes down here. I'm good with that, right? I don't need nothing else. Just send the little Rolex, right? So we laugh about that. But the main thing he said to me, he says, thank you for always being there. He said, thank you for everything. He said, I probably wouldn't even be here without you. And that's thanks enough. Like, I don't need nothing else. So pouring
That's
love,
beautiful. That's a
yeah,
beautiful.
pouring love, like Joshua said, when you have children and then you acquire some more because of a blended family type situation, all you can really do is just pour your guidance, pour your experience, pour your love, pour your money, all of that stuff into these kids. Let them know that there's no difference. Like, I'm gonna be here, you know. Um, you get in trouble, I'm gonna be here. I'm not gonna chastise you. I'm gonna be here. I mean, I'm not gonna chastise you to the point where, but I am gonna say, how could you get in trouble? I'm gonna be a parent regardless to
Right.
the step parents or whatever. I'm going to be a parent. And that's the key with blended families. When you step into a blended situation, you have to sit everyone down and let them know you're all going to be treated fairly. You're all going to be treated the same. You're all going to have the same amount of love and respect, but you're all going to have the same rules. And number one rule
Right.
is in the house is you better respect me, period, because
Right.
I'm going to respect you. And all of that, oh, you not my father. You can't tell me what to do. But you know what? If you're living in the house that I provided for you and your mother and everybody else, if you're under my roof and you're eating at my table and you're getting clothes that I put on your back, oh, you're going to respect me. And if not, you can pack up. And if the mother doesn't like it, don't talk to my son. Like, see, first of all, you have to have that communication with her as well. You got to let her know, like, yo, when I'm doing my discipline thing or when I'm speaking, yo, don't come at me like that in front of them. Now, if you want to discuss it with me behind closed doors, we can do that. But out front and that in the family room, living room, dining room, we have to show a united front. Period. And
King
that.
Joshua, I'm sorry. And King Joshua, did you face any challenges when you came upon your blended family situation?
Of course. Every day is you face a different challenge because you're dealing with somebody else's DNA, somebody else's genetics, somebody else's characteristics, meaning that everyone brings to the table their mother and father, a mixture of their mother and father. So when you sit there and you're trying to understand why he's acting like this or why she's acting like this, because the mother don't act like this or the father don't act like this, they get some of their qualities and characters from their other half. So you have to be very patient with that. You have to be very patient with that and very understanding, like sit down and discuss certain things because it's very hard for a person to deny their nature. As we always say, it's very hard for a person to deny their nature. So when we talk about challenges, every day is a challenge. Every day might be something different because it's not one specific thing. They might need attention constantly because see, like a lot of times, like And it's something that we never really discussed as a whole. But when you conceive children under drugs and alcohol, you know what I'm saying? You does something to the fetus. Something happens to the fetus. And sometimes the baby needs attention and and deals with attention seeking behavior. So you have to always sit there and give them that attention. Um, but long as you give them structure, structure, communicate, give them the boundaries, everything should be fine. Um, long as you and the other parent is on the same page, everything should be fine. The hardest part is like when Father Wise would said like um when parents two people are not on the same page dealing in a blended family. Because if I have children and I don't want you to discipline my children or what have you, then I shouldn't ask you to provide for them. I shouldn't ask you to provide for them. I shouldn't ask you to provide a stable home or put food on the table, pay bills for them if I don't want you to deal with them. See, we have to be in a space where we communicate with one another. We get on the same plane of energy where we sit and discuss how our family is going to look going forward. That it's not going to be one sided. These are my children, those are your children. I've been in a situation like that before. These are mine and these are yours. My thing is, if that's the case, then we don't need to be together.
That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
not a relationship where we're actually trying to blend. What it is
Right.
this is a relationship where we're on a physical plane with each other. We're sexual beings with each other. That's what that relationship is about. And there is no family structure going forward. Now, when you're dealing with that type of situation, it's best to leave it alone. And you can recognize those type of situations. Um, even like an undisciplined child. When you're dealing with people who don't know how to discipline their children or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying necessarily whoop them, but to give them the structure that they need, the balance that they need to be successful. When you're dealing with undisciplined children, that can be an issue in blended families because one person is sitting there trying to overcompensate or trying to do things, you know what I'm saying, to pacify the child. And we have to be a united front. Like, there's only two adults here, there's only two parents here. And you have to make sure that that understanding is understood all the time. You can't never look at a situation in a blended family as that's destruction, because the kids in the blended family isn't the destruction. It's the person that you're dealing with that will destroy the blended family. The
You
lack of
know,
Right.
communication, the lack of communication with that individual, not being on the same plane with that individual, can cause destruction in a relationship. Because once you say, I can't discipline or chastise your child, then there's an issue here. There's an issue here. And when you walk into a relationship and from a woman to a woman only deals with a man that she looks up to or she can respect. And if you can't respect the
This.
individual that you marry or you allow to lead you know what I'm saying, then why are you dealing with him? Then why would you marry him? Why would you even get to the point where you want a blended family? And it's the same thing with a woman. You know what I'm saying? When a man seeks a woman, he's seeking a helpmeet, someone, you know what I'm saying, that is a part of him, that becomes his nurturer, his cultivator, someone who actually is there to give him motivation to keep going back out there and providing, you know what I'm saying, and carrying this burden that they do in life. So if we can't have communication and deal with one another and make sure that this family structure is going forward in a positive direction for your children and for my children, we're wasting our time and energy. You know what I mean?
This is true.
You know,
You know what? Another issue that with that blended family that you probably have to nip in the bud. Yo, what if the kids are jealous of each other? What if they don't even like each other? You know what I'm saying? Like
but
that could be an issue as well that the adults have to fix, or sometimes the kids work it out by themselves. You
but see,
know,
when children deal with that jealousy thing, it's because of the parent. It's some seed that's been planted by the parent. See, that's why you have to sit. Everybody has to be an adult. If there's a situation with my child and your child not getting along, so we have to get to the root of that. Is
uh-huh.
there something that's been said? Like your mother, saying, if I'm dealing with a woman and she says something about my child's mother in front of, her children, or, they've been around their father and their father said something about me in front of the children. So it's going to almost have a snowball effect when it comes, comes into play. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a seed being planted, and everything is a seed being planted that's being nurtured and allowed to grow and manifest itself. So it's easy to uproot the jealousy. It's easy to uproot a whole lot of things if you sit down and communicate and be adults. See, nowadays it's hard for people to be adults because they're scared to have those real conversations and sit down with one another. If you can sit down and approach a person, then you can sit down and have that real serious conversation about relationships, family, the structure, the direction we're going. We want our kids to stay here until they get on their feet? Are they going to the military? Are they going to college? They're going to do this. These are all communicate factors that need to be communicated. You know what I'm saying? If something ever happens, you know what I'm saying, and the child needs to come home, this needs to be communicated, not just open the door. You know what I mean? Everything needs to be communicated. So there has to be a respect factor there. There has to be, a line of communication. That it just have to be where people understand there is not just a me or just a you, it's a us, it's a we. We have to take away, like I said in the beginning, the step. We have to take away the selfish thought that it's only me in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? We have to take that out. If it's not about us as a whole, then there will be no successful blended family. Long as you can think that you're an island by yourself or you're a nation by yourself, and that we're not a part of that, then it's not going to be successful. It's not going to be successful. So
This is
that's what it is.
this is
Peace, Kate.
King K Rock. Welcome.
Peace, peace. Pardon my lateness, y'all. The
Nah,
job.
man, share the food you was eating in the back room. Share the food, Kate. Put the food up on the table that you was eating, Kate.
Yeah, I had to get it in.
according to that hat, he looked like he had some oxtails and rice and peas in him. You know,
That's coming
Fried
up.
rice and peas,
some peas in.
Yeah, yeah. Yo, everything I heard from each one of y'all, you've been hitting it 100% right in the exact. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what we
And
do.
I look at it in a lot of ways as well. Currently, if I look at my overall family, we're a blended family right now, from going from 7 to 4 more children, because my mom's remarried. So now you're talking about 11 heads with one them passed away. So we back down 10 now. That's a lot of blendedness. You understand what I'm saying? So the understanding and level of respect as far as, all right, my mom's married somebody else. When I was a younger kid, I probably be like, man, I ain't listening to nobody else. You know what I'm saying? My mom married this clown or whatever because my dad is my dad. But now understanding that this man that she married, that she chose to marry, he has a lot of responsibility. Now, when they got married, I'm grown. So I'm just fast forward. I'm grown. But looking at the understanding of it, because through my life of me coming up and dealing with blendedness, with me dealing with other women that had children and rearing them from their younger age, I saw the same reflection of thought that they had, that I had way back, as for when they seen me. Who is this man? Who is this man with my mom? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna listen to him. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm feeding you you know, doing everything. I'm even ironing clothes, cooking, cleaning. I'm doing the whole night and still working. And the young lady that I was with, we sat down and communicated all the time. Just like you said, you got to talk. I mean, they are not my biological, but by me coming into that realm, I'm stepping up to the plate as if they are mine in the fact of whether they biological or not. I'm taking that role and responsibility as a man to be, uh, not to replace who they have as a father, but just showing that you have somebody else who can be in your corner if you need them and understand and respect. That's the main thing. You got to establish the communication and you got to establish the respect for it. You know, you just ain't gonna walk into somebody's house, whether you're a male or female, and y'all married. You like, okay, kicking the door, waving the 4-4. I'm taking over. Whatever I say, go boom, boom, boom. You getting ready to walk into a whole pandemic era. You gotta do the knowledge. You gotta look, listen, observe, and respect what's going on in this household that you're about to blend yourself within, and find out if that's your cup of tea. If not, then you need to be man enough or woman enough to be like, listen, I don't think I can do this. You know what's going on, and if there's an issue, no matter what, talk it out. Talk it out. The worst thing you could do is just hold it in amongst yourself, and then look at the wife or the man and be like, if you only knew how much of a bee your child is and stuff like that. Now these are your thoughts, but you ain't saying it out loud. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes kids can get on your nerve, and you be like, you little bee, get your little behind out of here. You're hard headed. You ain't my child. So we all have to recheck ourselves in that manner when we start dealing with a blendedness. We first got to check our own self, and then we're able to assess the situation and be like, all right, okay, listen, your dad may not be able to do the things for you that you want him to do. I might be able to do it, but does that make me a better person than him? No, you still got to respect the fact that you have a true father that's in your life that may not be able to do for you, but he's here. And certain things that he's going to do, you still got to respect him, whether you and the mother and father is not together. You know, I'm not there to replace him, and she's not there to replace your mother. You got to sit down and really got to talk with your kids. Sometimes you have to do it one on one. Sometimes you have to do it as a group so everybody can hear everything that's being said by that person, so it won't be no misunderstandings. Because soon as you have them secluded or separated, that one thing will go back and be like, well, my dad told me this, or he said this, that. So once you have your one-on-one, you make sure you have your group at this after that, right after that. So you reestablish that, listen, nobody's better than this person and that person. We all are one family. We all are one love. Now certain situations, and I'm gonna ask y'all how y'all handle this. I had a situation in one blended family where the brother started liking the sister. Now you understand, they not legally, they are not blood related, but by marriage they blended, but yet they had feelings for one another. The hormone section. So I'm like, oh, now as a parent, what do you really say? Do you tell them not to? Or do you like, listen, I think y'all really need to look at this at a later situation? How would you have handled it? I'll let you know how I've handled it, but I want to hear if anybody had that experience as I had.
Personally, it's like when you're my sister, you're my sister. You know what I mean? Regardless to whom or what, you're my sister, you're my sister. But if we got the same parents, you know what I mean? Your mom is my mom, your dad is my dad, whatever the case may be. Because I have like siblings that way. Um, well, K Wise and Father Wise, y'all know my sister Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know my sister Kelly, and we don't we don't have the same biological blood. You know what I mean? Our little brother do, but you know what I mean. I never would look at her on that level because she's my sister. You know what I mean? Once that has been established in the mind of the child that we're a family, see, you have to really plant the seed of family connection. This is a family. You know what I'm saying? This is your sister. This is not some different female. This is actually your sister. When you start looking at her like that, then all the hormones and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, is on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? There's nothing sexual about looking at your sister. At least not with the black families, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
White folks is something different, but um that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Pardon me. But we don't look at each other sexually like when we start talking about siblings. The first thing we
Right.
go is, ooh, that's nasty. You mess with your cousin? Oh, you nasty. Or you mess with your sister? Oh, you nasty. Even though you know, like, they're not really my cousin. You know what I'm saying? His his dad or her dad married my aunt. But it's like, ooh, that's your cousin. You
Right.
nasty. You know what I mean? You nasty. You'll get basically shamed out for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it's establishing the family connection.
Always. Always.
Um, Always establish it and reinforcing the family connection is a major thing to allow the children to know, like, yo, this is a one family. This is not two separate families. This is one family. That's why we call it blended. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we took away, you know what I'm saying, the name step. You know what I'm saying? We took away all those derogatory terms to let you know we're blended. And when you blend something, you meshing it together. You're forming it to become one. So to sit there and have your children having hormonal or lusting things, you have to reinforce the family. You have to reinforce the family and the family structure.
Indeed. Indeed. That's exactly what I did. I had a strong sit down.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
really
that you have to. You have to. You have to have a very strong sit down. You have to have a very hard conversation. You have to put it on the table.
You got to bring out the belt.
I ain't, I
You
ain't
have
gonna
to
say
bring
bring the
Okay.
belt out.
King Herman, what is your take on this recipe we're
Oh, peace,
building
King
here?
Hunter.
peace. Peace.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Pardon me. My boy turned 43 today, so we surprised him with a little Zoom party real quick. So I had to do that. So we go back.
43.
Um,
I remember
43, yeah.
43.
Sorry, I
I
didn't mean to.
remember
Yeah, you know,
43.
I'm still kind of
Yeah,
young, just a little bit.
yeah. I
But
remember.
when you talk about blended family, how it's touched me is the fact that from my mother, I'm the oldest, but from my father, I'm the middle child. And it's one thing to have, your mother and be the oldest, but I never forget the day my father told me I had another sister, but I only saw one of my older sisters all the time because she used to work at TSS and we used to stop by and see her in the store. So one day coming home from school, Dad says, yo, yeah, this your other sister, Sherry. I'm like, what? I got another sister? So I'm excited. Now a lot of people don't have that nowadays because of how the family is and how the mothers are and per se. But at my dad's funeral, all his baby mothers plus my mother were there. And it was just something that he instilled in me. He said, I want you to know who your brothers and sisters are. So even now, I have two other kids from a baby mother. Then I have my daughter from my previous marriage. So if I get married again, but my thing is that when you step in, if you the man, it's this is what I expect. We sitting down, let's talk. But everybody has to be on that same page. But if you don't have or get that authority to be the man and actually accept and embrace everybody, it may not work. Because that's when little things come in and somebody says this about this one and that about this one, and then people start to feel the tension. So you just and blended is beautiful sometimes. If you look at certain colors that mix together, you got white and red, you get pink. You got yellow and pink, you get orange. you know, so sometimes, you know, it meshes real well. Then there's other times you got to put in that work to keep it like that. So blended family can be a beautiful thing, but everybody has got to be on that same page. Gotta
I
be.
had I had attempted to blend a family. Um, with my experience, it didn't come out so well because I'm a us we person. And the person I was dealing with, they definitely demonstrated that they weren't mature enough to be a us we um, partnership because I came in as a package deal. When you see me, I have a small child. He was a small child, about 3 at the time, um, and we're a package deal. So at first it rolled out like, it was, very pleasant. However, then when we move forward to coming together as one, I must add that he didn't have children at the time. So it was just, me and my son. So it just would have been the three of us. But when we decided to move together, it came that he demonstrated to never include my son on anything. And I mean simple things like, you go to the store and get something, but you left out that my son is here too. And again, he's only 3. Um, when you're doing things like that, like it makes me like have one eyebrow up and one eyebrow down. Like, okay, the natural thing that because my son is a little child and he's a boy child, most men
Mm-hmm.
will gravitate towards, let me make sure little man is good. You know what I'm saying? However, it came to a point one day that I gave a New Year's Eve party, and I had leftovers after the party, and I was beat tired and in the bed the New Year's Day. So he had to go to work, and he returned from work, and he was in the kitchen, and my son ran in the room like, "Mommy, mommy, can I have some chicken?" And I said, "Sure." Ask him to get you the chicken. So all of a sudden I hear this big yell, "Yo, Yash, you better come get your son something to eat." And I was like, "What?" Your son had an accent on it, and I was like, "Okay, something is like wrong." And then the tone of voice that he used, I felt it was very wrong. So I said, "Well, aren't you in the kitchen? Like, can't you get him something to eat? I'm eating my food. I'm not giving him nothing." Mm. So I'm looking at you real funny because you're in the kitchen. You're making a plate. You're warming it up and you're eating in front of my son and will not give him a plate of food that he's 3 years old. So your blood start boiling because I know this is not making real sense here. Like I must be hallucinating and I must be hearing something wrong. So I said, "Well, let me get up to make sure I'm not hallucinating." And sure enough, he was downstairs eating food and would not give my son a plate of food. You didn't buy the food, you didn't cook the food, you didn't do nothing to contribute to the process. And you eating in front of my son. So that relationship was dead immediately.
That's right.
Not now, but right now. Because if
That's
you doing this in front of me, now I'm thinking, what were you doing when I wasn't here, when I left you in the house with my son?
yep.
So from that point, I never had anybody around my son ever, ever, ever again. And now my son is about to be 21. So it's like, and that only happened for a quick second because I don't even think we lasted 6 months. Um, so it's just like the principle of where's your mindset at, where you just X out my son altogether, that you don't even have the decency to give him a plate of food, and then you sit in front of him eating when you know he wants something to eat. It's food. It's food. He didn't rip your clothes up. He didn't steal your money. It's food that you didn't even cook or pay for. Food. But you was hungry and you made yourself a plate, heated it up, and sat down and ate. So I just was like, I have my thoughts around participating with individuals to even want to try because of that horrible experience, that I have, because I can give love to someone else and just children in general because I walk with love. But when you can't reciprocate the fact or even treat us with respecting love, that we're a package deal, like that's a huge problem for me. So blended families are so important, whether it's from old school, and honestly, when they use the term blended families, that just came right now. Like this is just recent, within the last maybe 10 years, because back in the days there was plenty of blended, and we didn't call it blended. We just call it family.
Family.
Right.
Yeah.
Just family. So it's like, well, what's the real difference that they chose to decide what we're going to do blended?
This
So
is
it's like, it makes you kind of think. It makes you kind of think like, All I know is I know at one time. So say like back in, say like the early '60s, a family would consist of the husband, the wife, the two kids, and the dog. You know, that's the perfect quote unquote family, that you're in a house with a picket fence. That's the perfect family. But now the way how life is structured, family is what you consider all in one household.
well. Think about it.
It
Think about
doesn't matter the people that's a part of the unification. I don't
Correct.
care if it's the cousin. I don't care if it's the god sister, the grandfather. Everybody in the house consists of that one family unit. So now, then they added on the blended for homosexuals, heterosexuals, to bring it all together. So when people of the same sex started to want to adopt children, have foster children, and they allowed it, the
now.
name blended showed up on
The scene.
the
Remember when we were
yeah.
younger? So what we watched in the beginning to really show a family coming together. The perfect example was the Brady Bunch.
Correct.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Three on that side, three on this side. The husband and wife get together. Now they the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean?
right.
That's a prime example of a family coming together. They're not. They only each one is related by way of mom and dad, but they are family. That's my sister. They are my sisters now. You know, they didn't say anything like, you just we're not related. You know what I mean? Or no, they said they were brothers and sisters. We
Right.
go to school together. That's my brother. That's my sister. You
Mm-hmm.
know, got into all kind of mischief together sometimes or whatever. So and that was a perfect example for that. You know, but like you said, it didn't become blended till we started adding on these other things into play. You know, the people. The Rainbow Coalition or whatever. Uh, wanting to do these other
No,
things.
don't disrespect. Don't
Well,
disrespect.
I,
That's not
I
nice.
I'm not giving the title part. I'm just saying not to say disrespect.
Right. It's just it's the part that everyone has a right to have what they want as considered to be a family, and they have a right. So if they choose to want to come together to love a child and they want to adopt a child, that love, you rather give the child the love versus the child be in a foster care and age out, so they can come to a loving home, so they can become of structured love to learn what that is. They have a everyone has a right to that. So it's whatever it is, and we bring in love to the table. That's what it is. It's nothing else. That's what it is. So whether it be your love or somebody else's kind of love, as long as love is coming across and we raising our children with love, and so they can grow to become productive individuals of life, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. But from my experience and from listening to everyone here, I just feel that blended families is a beautiful thing, and it has its great points, because it just like all of you are saying, as long as you have communication, love, use the proper verbiage, everybody understanding each other on the same playing field, and no one splitting each other in the front or the back, the side or the other side, you can put all the cards on the table and come together as one and have nothing but a beautiful union. Everyone can grow respectively into their own paths, and then life goes on. Everybody retire and live life luxury after that. Um, that floating thing after you raise your kids is such a beautiful thing. It's really such a beautiful thing. Definitely.
Yeah.
So does anyone have anything else to add?
You know, I was just listening to you, right? And I was listening to the definite the new blended families, right? And the new blended families is, see, I don't know. I'm from a different era, and families are families, right? When we was growing up, there was mom. It was always mom and dad, kids. There was no mom and kids, or dad and kids. And I just felt I'm not. I mean, I hear you, and everybody has the right to do what they want to do, but I just think, in the essence of family, like what family is supposed to be, and
No, but that
that's my definition of
I must,
family.
I must stop you here. It's not what family is supposed to be. Nowadays, the definition of family is what is in your household. And I'm going to give you another example. My son will come to me, Mom, how come we don't have a family? Because there was no man in my household. So it's like, as a mother, how could you answer that?
You and him are
Because
family.
my son is from a married man. So how am I supposed to answer that? So I had to step back and say, son, we have a family.
Mm-hmm.
Family consists of me, you, and your grandmother, because that's who was in our house at the time. That is family. I don't care how you slice it. It's not about what you like and what somebody else like. It's not in your house. Whatever is in your house, that's your business. And a lot of times what people don't do is mind their business. And that's just period. There's no way, if we are all humans, that we can't love. You can have your thoughts. Who cares about your thoughts? But why, if there's a loving people that can love a child that is sitting in a homeless shelter, sitting in a foster care system that needs love, why can't everybody come together and work together and love each other. There is nothing wrong with that. Your opinion is your opinion. But one thing that is so, that why sit and let a child suffer by himself, by herself, when you have loving people that can offer love? At the end of the day, we are all humans. We all bleed. We all have hearts. We all have minds. We all have thoughts. Everybody have their own thoughts. Just like somebody will say, I don't like that black nigga that wear that green headband on. Same thing. It's discrimination. I don't care how you slice it. And at the end of the day, God doesn't want us to do that. He wants us to love. You deal with your choice. That's your business. That's your business. Just like everybody else got their thoughts, their choices, and their business. Period. At the end and the beginning of every single day, God wants us to love each other, treat each other with respect and kindness. Period. Period. At the end and the beginning of the day, it's all about love. Love doesn't judge. Love is always kind. Love doesn't leave markers to say, oh, this and oh, that. Love doesn't keep time. Love don't do none of that. It's just love. And people have to come together on just love. Stop coming together. Oh, this one got this and this one got that. And who says this and I don't like that. Come on. We got to give it up. Everybody be in their own life, mind their own business, and walk their own path. At the end of the day, everyone got their goals. Get to them. Live life, and you keep on living. And that's just period. But family is what it is. It ain't what it's supposed to be. How about this? Who said it was a standard? Clearly, that changed. Because clearly households change. Because there's no men in a lot of households. So you can't say, well, it's supposed to be the mother, the father, and the kids. Yo, that died many years ago. Because I'm a victim of that. Because I don't have that. I didn't raise my son without a father in the household. So family is what it is. And I made it happen. And my son is it. He is it. So family is what it is, not what it quote unquote supposed to be. Because if you want to look at it real hard, what it's supposed to be means, according to who's standing.
Wasn't was your son's father? He was still active in his life, right?
Every single day, we co-parent very well.
And that's it.
Every single day. I never denied my son. His family is amazing. Amazing. And we all blend together very well. Everybody.
We was blessed that still have his father in his life.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I had to be mature. His wife had to be mature to make that happen. She didn't have to take my son in. She didn't have to. But she did. We communicated about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, oh, I got beef with her and she got beef with me. No. When the tables is what it is, everybody have an understanding. And just because she's her and I'm me, I'm not going to have an attitude, And that's what girls do. Females be like, oh, I don't want my son or daughter around your bitch. You can't see them this week. Girls do it all the time. They mad because you not with them, and then they start beef and hold the child hostage like you really hurting something, but you're not. You're only hurting your child. You're only hurting the father. And then you pushing them more away from you and the child because you want to be ignorant. Respect his gangster, just like he's respecting yours. But at the same time, there's men that go, oh, don't be having my kid around some nigga. I got that for 2 seconds, but it only lasted 2 seconds because I let him know. No one can take the title father from him unless you do.
Yep.
No one can do that. And that's all I said to him. And from when I said that to him, he has never not picked my son up on a weekend. Ever. Ever. And everybody that know me, they don't even think I have a child because that's how much he came and got her. So it's like you have to have that understanding between you and the person that you fathered or mothered a child with, and get it. Everyone act like they don't have egos. Take the little child stuff off the table and be adults. Now that the child is here, the child has to be here. Everybody needs to get it right. Don't deny a child his father. Don't deny a child his mother. Don't deny this union. Don't deny them their families, because it makes a difference. I'm grateful because they're a whole clan. It's just me here. My sisters and brothers are scattered all over the United States. I don't have that big family unit that my son can just flow and go, hey, 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 hey. He can just go right to his grandmother's house, everybody there. Because he want to be with his sisters. He want to be with his brothers. He want to be with his cousins. He want to be with his family. That's what, again, family is all about. It's whoever's in the household who's going to give the child love. They deserve that. They didn't ask to be here. And to walk around with an ego because you don't like something, that's your problem. That's nobody else's problem. But it's too much of women acting silly because the man done moved on, or men acting silly because the woman moved on. Like, get over yourself. It's not about you. We have to come together and raise these children respectfully. Support them, love them, encourage them to be great prosperers in society. Teach them how to survive. Teach them how to live while being black. How about that? But people put too much negative influence in the relationships and cause a whole bunch of discord. For what? For ego? Because you don't like something? Your feelings is bruised? Come on. Everybody got to grow up. Everybody got to grow up on any level. We got kids to raise here. They're going to be adults one day. We got to teach them how to be adults for when they become parents. And that's not working out so well, y'all. It's not. Because it's looking real crazy out here in these, what they call them, in these streets. All that part. It's just not cool. So somebody dropped the ball because everyone's not being responsible. Everyone's not being adult here. Everyone's not communicating accordingly here. So, yeah, that part. That's my take. But I thank everyone for coming in tonight. And, don't never say y'all are too late, because y'all are never too late. You come late, that's what it is. Just slide up in and start talking. Don't be, telling everybody. That's like you come to church late and like, sorry, I want to pray because I was late, Pastor. God, I was late. Coming on a prayer line, Lord, please, I was late. No one would have known you was late if you would have told nobody.
What's that, Deacon K. Wise? You want to get some more offering?
Lord, I'm going to give you an extra $1 because I'm late. Come on now. So I thank y'all so much for coming in and always, standing and delivering as you do. Thank you, King Joshua, King
King
Herman,
Ja.
King Father Wise, King K. Um, thank you so much as always for coming through, and we really
Great
appreciate you
show. Great.
because these type of platforms are extremely important. Again, every topic we talk about, it means to somebody. It
Yep,
means
yep.
something. Just like I was saying yesterday, when we express ourselves, we opening up awareness to people that think that they're the only ones that's going through something. So sharing experiences is extremely important. Extremely important. And
Yeah.
again, do it with love. So thank y'all for coming on. See y'all next week. And we're gonna do what we do. So thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you for loving this fam. Thank you for supporting us here in the charge room. And never forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that bell button and never miss a episode again. So yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So I see you later, and everyone have a super great night. And next week we will be back again here at Where's My King, hashtag the men's locker room. And signing off, my name is Elias Simpson, aka Minister Charles, aka Coach Illy. Have a great night.
I wanna get away.